but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Alexa, turn on Dojo.
I will be queen, and you will be king.
Good morning, grasshoppers.
Though nothing will drive them away, we can beat them just for one day.
Today is John Bartholomew's birthday, the founder of, or one of the co-founders of Chessable.com. Definitely a tool that has been remarkably helpful in improving, or at least keeping my game in good shape.
You can be me, and I drink all the time, 'cause we're lovers, and that is a fact. Yeah, we're lovers, and that is that.
Good morning, WR33Z. How are you?
Nothing will keep us together.
Good morning for me. Is it good evening for you? Good afternoon? Where are you from? That sometimes helps me determine let's see, mini scene source audio.
Ready.
And we're off. Diligent daily training. I promised this week I would be exercising A3. Good morning, Ismail. How are you? Pakistan. See if I can guess. Actually, I'm not going to guess. It is maybe, I'm going to hazard a guess, it's 1:30 in the afternoon for you in Pakistan. I resolved to myself that I'm going to use my touch screen a little bit more than my mouse. Now the moment of truth. If I were to work this like the pin variation, what is the best possible continuation here to achieve a better endgame? Seem to be having an echo. 3:06. Oh, so you're a half an hour behind India. That's my guess. No, Ismail is in Morocco. WR33 is from Pakistan. He came in just before you. Well, that's interesting. Working this into a good system of development. Working this into a good system of development as best we can. I see. So how is this supposed to work? Oh, I see. So you got your pawn back. So that was a good, interesting learning experience. I'm trying to hone A3 into an actual. Uh-oh. This doesn't make sense.
Victory.
All right, moment of truth here. Good morning, Ismail. 11:07 a.m. in Morocco. Hold on, let me just take a quick peek at my my cheat sheet. So 11:07 a.m. You are Central Europe time. Gotcha. "11:07 a.m. So it's still good morning for you. It is afternoon for Nico. It is 3:10 a.m. 3:10 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. in Pakistan and India. 8:10 p.m. and 10:10 p.m. So if I had to hazard a guess for SLK Chess in Mauritius, I would say that he is just afternoon, 12:10. No, you're 2:10. Wow, I didn't realize that Mauritius. So Mauritius is 1 hour past St. Petersburg. That seems wrong, doesn't it? Let's take a quick peek at this opening and see if there was a better way that I could have played it before we move on. Even if it costs me a bit of time. All of these opening moves seem perfectly acceptable and good. So b4 was not recommended. f3 is recommended. How am I going to develop my queen side then? f3 makes sense. f3, queen e7, queen c4. And of course, bishop to b2 added to the difficulty. As I am struggling to get my queen side developed. Not sure if I like it. So meanwhile, rook to b6, queen to c4. And now, bishop e3. Rook on a to d1. Just lost a pawn back. Oh no, it was supposed to be bishop takes h2. I'm mated. I am mated, folks, after bishop takes h2. g3, rook to h6, king to h2. OMG. I should have been devastated here. Then I'm mated again after rook on a to d1. Bishop takes h2, check. Or just checkmate is unavoidable. All right, we're back. Please check out SLK Chess's most recent YouTube tours of the Olympiad in Chennai on his YouTube channel, and make sure you follow him on Twitch. I'm positive that his YouTube channel is flying along. I encouraged him to put his name on it. Yes, he is more than 100 subscribers ahead of me. My YouTube channel. Although I am posting some instructional content as frequently as I can, it is lagging behind SLK Chess's. One of these days, when both SLK Chess and I have a decent viewership, if not making it big, we'll be able to look back on this time in 2022. Say those were the days. And we had no idea what was going to be happening. Hans Niemann yesterday's game against Magnus Carlsen was quite impressive. The amount of preparation and understanding that went into that position. If you saw on my socials, I reshared Hans Niemann's YouTube. If you follow my... Ironically, the thing I loved most about the day was him arguing with Alejandro Ramirez, telling him the computer doesn't know what it's talking about. And that they were speaking two different languages. Wow, if you take that pawn, you are not going to make it. Or are you? That was too slow. G5 was too slow. We're not going to make it. Yeah, it is official. He could easily just capture the G5 pawn and start marching forward. Oops. Then white blundered, maybe. Oh no, you didn't blunder. You could have just waited for the pawn to queen. Oh, he blundered. He fell for it. There was no reason to take the pawn. For stalemate. I don't even know who that was. Had to be one of these two. Dressless Chess versus Sacrificial Guy. I believe Dressless Chess is AKA Alright, now we're going to work on the same Sicilian from this side of the board. Actually, we can't, because I believe that Rizev and Mr. Rizev and Arku from Turkey. Good morning, Nico. Both play, may both play the Bartholomew variation. How are you doing, Nico? Good to see you, man. I don't know if anyone was in on yesterday's prediction, but I just want everyone to know. C3. C3 always amuses me. This will give us a chance today to iron this one out even further, because the move C3 hardly ever occurs to me as part of a normal opening development system. But it is a known system. What I dropped, I'm hoping not to find out later what I dropped. Got it. And now the moment of truth. How does this guard? How does this guard the pawn on e4? That is the question. Okay. there is a mild inconvenience involved. Normally this continuation is followed up upon in other positions on our coup by queen h5 check, pawn blocks or king moves, and then queen to d5 check, picking up the knight. That is a common tactical pattern to try to win the knight back. But it's not really necessary here. Now we do wish to seek some exchanges, and we are now seeking those exchanges. We need to remove the knight that's very peskily involving itself. Desperado. And now we're diving in as rapidly as we can.
So now we're trapped in Fisher's mind battling his own.
Kingslayer Sloan with the party of 3. How are you? Good morning. I do need to get Fossabot set up.
Check. Victory.
Fossabot has apparently Otis Noob. Yes, Otis Noob is dressless chess. Take a quick peek at this opening again real quick before we lose the opportunity to study it wisely. It doesn't like g6 in the second move. Interestingly enough, it believes that d6 is the best move. I don't know about that, Mr. Chasuki. Wega. Ooh, Chasuki. How are you? Good morning. Thank you for following. Namaste. Where are you from? I'm going to go by the name. It seems like it could be Portuguese. So queen a5 seemed reasonable. Knight takes e4, bishop takes f7, and things went downhill from there. But I wanted to know about the opening phase of the game. So the best move against c3, c4 is obviously the best move against this. Did I have a better move? Knight to c6, bishop d3. Knight f6, e5, knight d5 is what I was thinking about playing. a6 seems a little extreme, so obviously I should be playing. And now in this position, knight takes b takes e5 runs into knight to d5. And do I lose a pawn after bishop takes g6? Right. You had a clear win, Adesnu, but you didn't have a clear plan. You're not dumb. Please do not use that word to describe yourself again. It is absolutely not true. Absolutely not correct. Good morning, Ali Haidar. We were just going over our game. There's no reason to reinforce tonight with c3. You can lock down on the position with c4 and then play knight c3 if you want to use the c pawn. I don't know about how sweet I am. No, you can't use that. We're all learning and we all make mistakes. When you were young, when I was young, oh no. Uegamu Chisuki? Japan? Go based on the last name. Are you from Japan? Just giving myself a shot. No, that's all right. I am here every single morning. Chess Dojo is genius. Chess Dojo is the other guys, by the way. Chess Dojo Live. Adi Snoop, those are the kids. They are genius too, by the way, but they don't completely use the dojo format. Or they don't use the original dojo format. Let's just say in the martial arts sense. I use the martial arts form. Yep, Jesse Cry is pretty good. He is a very unusual fellow in real life. He's got demeanor and mannerisms that make him a very unique, determined, particular individual. He reminds me of another friend of mine. Not that Jesse Cry is in any way unusual. He's just a normal, really nice guy. But I have another friend of mine who has a similar affect, who is a flat earther. Yeah, Master Chess Dojo is a verb and a noun, and it is mainly intended for both of us, in fact, to diligently learn from our mistakes. Applying yourself every single day to the best of your ability, and then improving how we walk or run and maneuver in certain situations. So when we were young, we all fell down. We learned how not to fall down. And we did not say that we were not so smart because we fell down when we were young. That just didn't happen. The Sacrificial Guy set up Dressless Chess pretty well. There's no doubt in my mind that Dressless Chess should have had him. So in this sense of the word, I'm hoping to stop So now, with the moves A3 and A5 included, is the move D4 a real move? Let's play for it. In an effort to play the most solid game possible against our erstwhile opponent. What in the world is going on? It looks like he's offering us the bishop pair at the expense of time. And now I've given it back, or have I? I see the light around you. So everything appears to be covered. Or is it? And now how is he sleeping with himself at night? And is he threatening me? Oh, should I have taken it? I should have taken the free bishop last move. C'est la vie. I should have taken the free bishop last move. Let's grab this. Oh no! I blundered in one move, allowing an ice tactic. Let's check out our last jettison. That attention to detail did not get me very far, right? So everything was going really, really well. I didn't like bishop takes e4. Knight f5 did take advantage of the free dark squared bishop. This I knew was a blunder. Bishop to h5 is an obvious... I'm sorry, bishop to g5 is an obvious improvement. The real king of the market indeed. Kingslayer has no reason to be jealous. He has many attributes that I could only hope to have. Many attributes that I could only hope to have. One of them being his remarkably lovely accent. He is basically a chick magnet. I use that term very facetiously and not politically incorrectly. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. I should have just played king. But I blundered when I didn't take the free bishop. I did everything to prevent the back rank mate. b3 is better than queen to d5 check? Can't believe black is better after bishop takes e4. Knight to d5, of course. And he is losing material. The queen has to go to d8. We get to keep attacking his queen, swiping further material. Or do we just bother him? Moment of truth. I believe it. Knight takes c7. Oh, just castles. And everything is hanging. You can't guard c7 and e4 at the same time. That makes sense. But later in this game, even though this all somewhat worked out for me, bishop d3 was a little bit of a lemon. Knight e3 turned out to be tremendously great, and then I should have just played queen takes e4. Could I have taken queen? Could I have really played queen takes e4? Queen takes f2 check. Queen takes d2. No. Bishop c3. Just remaining calm. You can't capture on c4 because the bishop's hanging. Oh, and then they're actually suggesting that he go all in. and I must run for it. And he gets his piece back. Yuck! What an ugly game. Did he just lose the queen? He just forced the exchange of queens here. Viper 101 to knight g5 check, queen takes queen check, and c6 promoting. Viper's still alive against luck beyond your side. There doesn't seem to be a way to stop the pawn from queening. Queen d7, knight c5 check. Time to resign. Yeah, that's not good. Viper is playing black in this position. Oh, he misses his very straightforward mate here. No? I feel like he missed a mate in this position. Check, check, and he gets away. Snowy Orca, good morning. Thank you for raiding. How are you? Snowy Orca, white whale? I'm not so sure about this reference. Are you from Alaska? Where are you from? I am FIDE trainer and National Master John MacArthur. Just working out the fastest way to mate in this particular position. Yes, he did that. He did it that way, but I actually wanted to see. So first off, back here we missed several moves of technique. With knight g5, queen takes queen and promotes. So many accidents in my life, indeed. I accidentally came to New York as well instead of moving to California. Shri Deep. How was your stream, Snowy Orca? Please give Snowy Orca, that was the last thing I was going to type, a follow to check out Snowy Orca. I know I am. I need to throw in the follow very quickly. It is great to see you. Snowy Orca has just started streaming primarily chess.com. Snowy Orca is about to set up their webcam, it looks like. If you need any help, Snowy Orca, I have hit affiliate, yes. Mary Max. All right, we're back. I haven't yet decided what Sicilian I'm going to be playing. So d6, according to Stockfish, is the best second move. Probably true. People are going to play c3 against you. Do it in a heartbeat. We're just going to coordinate our pieces to the best of our ability. Can we grab more space, or should we prepare it? We should prepare it just to prevent any funny business. That doesn't really stop me from continuing to Greek to gain space, by the way. And now, perhaps to exchange his white squared bishop. He did stop me from playing knight. He did stop me from playing knight to, let's start undermining the center here if we can. Let's attack the only weakness that he has. We're also trying to take advantage of the weak squares, the dark squares on the king side. You can see that the problem with playing both h3 and f4 is that all of these squares have become very, very weak. Always analyze your games. That's alright, but imagine with practice, day in and day out, Chosuke? Bugubu Chosuke? I'm going to try to figure out how to pronounce that. With practice, you are going to get better. There is no doubt about it. It takes practice. Everything takes practice. And you are going to have more stamina. You're not going to be tired anymore. It is your mission, your goal, to be better than you were in your last effort. Every single time. So now, we are trying to break down white's center as best we can. The rook is no longer on the F file. So we can isolate his C pawn. So that we'll have a nice advantage, at least in that sense. Should we put a rook on the second rank? This also opens up another line for our queen. Well, that's interesting. Is he really recapturing with his... Or are we going to... try to isolate yet another pawn? As far as I can tell, we are isolating another pawn. So the e4 pawn is now weak, the c3 pawn is now weak, the dark squares are weak, the rook is tied down to the e4 pawn. I do have to keep an eye on my e5 pawn. So how am I going to go about this? Crippling on the file?
Running check.
So how does he defend g2? Well, that's interesting. We're going to keep up the pressure. To the best of our ability, we're going to keep up the pressure anyway. That's interesting.
Check.
We have another attacker where that one came from. Why did he resign? Oh, my time ran out. That was an enjoyable game, though. Don't you hate it when that happens? You can do this. Positivity. Positivity, Chasuke. Please, positivity. Start slowly. Look at the memorable games on YouTube. Please give our YouTube a follow, a subscription, please. Yesterday we got to we promoted our YouTube, and after the simul, a lot of the excess. I mean, we did do 2 simuls to bolster our YouTube a little bit, but many of them left. And Arku is actually training his son, Arisnu. They are here together, and his son is getting stronger, and Arku's son is much stronger. And you cannot discount the possibility that there may be, you know, a little bit of influence in that sense. Both of them are in the event. And the other day I saw someone I don't remember who it was, and I don't really wish to remember who it was, in the Lee Chess chat commenting, not on Arku, but I believe someone else, that they were, that the pace of their moves was at an evenly timed scale. We all know what that means. But in reality, try not to report or accuse anyone of cheating during a tournament. It is really not polite. It is best to let them continue doing what they're doing and report them. And that way you'll get your credit back. Well, all you have to do is be a very diligent student. The really great thing about chat, honestly, is that good students ask good questions. And much of the chat that I see in a lot of the Twitch streams, not such good questions. His lesson's bankrupt. That is true, but we offer a nice pro bono service here if you're willing to listen. This is the one feature that I will give Grandmaster Mark Arnold over any other student. This is something that, let's just say that a lesson that is very difficult for Rogan is that Grandmaster Mark Arnold, who I referenced there in that link, Grandmaster Mark Arnold always at least followed through on the suggestions routinely. For sure. What is up with that? You're getting engaged. How do you know that? 2028 or something. All right, now I've always been curious about this one. I have always been curious, but I'm going to tag the weakness on B7 that has been newly created. Are you in India? All right, I'm going to grab all the space in the world just because playing alone and playing in isolation is never a good thing. And I do want to encourage some weaknesses, by the way. And only now am I going to win material. We want to trade more stuff, right? Or do we? My king is still in the center. I am up a piece, so let's trade more stuff. We're going to keep attacking. My opponent wants to trade further. I can't argue with that. My opponent wishes to trade further. Can't argue with that. Do I wish to do it that way? Let's keep the party going. Rook to the 7th. Rook to the 7th rank before I lose my opportunity. And let's can we batten down the hatches? No. Yes. Maybe. Yes. I want to encourage more exchanges. I would like to encourage more exchanges. More exchanges. More forks, more attacks, more exchanges. I do have some serious problems trying to get my pieces out. That much is true. Some very serious problems trying to get my pieces out. Did he get his material back? He may have. Well, he didn't try to get his material back with rook to A1 would get his material back. Rook to A1, winning the knight that was pinned. Find those pins. Well, that's fascinating. Yeah, no, I want to exchange. I want to stay in the square of the pawn. I do wish to stay inside the square of the pawn and not step on my That was almost a very good move, by the way. I say almost a very good move because
check, check,
unfortunately this creates a further problem. A much bigger further problem.
check,
Yes.
check, check. Victory.
Sorry, Rogan. Birmingham. Yes, you were an Englishman in the UK, I think. Trying to remember. Oh man, I'm terrible about this. I'm going to try to catch up on everything. Who is your favorite Indian player at the moment of the Rising Stars? Now, you can't choose Anand. I've had funner games.
Time is running out.
Jammu. All right, Viper, here we go. Viper still has a massive score on me. Way too many, way too close for comfort. All right, we're going to play this slightly differently. Did I have this before? Maybe I should have really considered it. Was I not castled? Yes, I was not castled, so it did not work. Got a little bit of a log jam here. Can I play F4? Takes. No. Wow. My whole plan in life is not a very good one. This is why this is better. 98 is better in some situations. Well, at least we got something out of it. So F4, E takes F4, G takes F4, Knight takes F4, Bishop takes F4. All right, now that we've deferred the queen, I believe that we can do this. Now we have multiple threats, two different directions. On the queen and on the bishop. I don't think that was the one that I was threatening, actually.
Check. Check.
This nation owes you a huge debt.
Check. Check. It's a draw.
I did allow too much counterplay. Good morning. Thank you for following Locker Guide. I am National Master John MacArthur in the United States. I did take a beating here. We learn from our mistakes. We are in the dojo every day. We have 2 primary dojos. Nice to meet you, Locker Guide. Let's check out the game of choice. Did you beat me? I can't remember if you beat me. I think you beat me. I did go over our game already, I think. Congratulations on 2nd place. By the way, the theme of our dojo is applying your skills every single day. We also have, and you should be analyzing your own games. You should be checking it with, nice to meet you, Shankadi Mighty. Or is Mighty your first name? Because it's, after all, we know that Vishwanathan Anand is actually his first name, and everybody calls him Vishy. Toxic Living. Pegasus is in the house. Good morning, Ron. Thank you for being here, Allie. Much appreciated. Locker Guide, where are you from? India is such a big country. It's all one time zone. I understand if you are from India. We had another fellow from Pakistan. I have a large crowd from Asia for the most part. Fishy? Fishy Anand. Aww. Unfortunately, I'm taking my wife to the airport this morning. So I have very little time. Well, I've been teaching for almost 40 years. So I've had plenty of time to be the mean coach. I've had plenty of time to be the stern coach. I have had plenty of time to be the masochistic and sadistic coach, for the most part. That's the cringiest music ever. I'm going to add more so that people can use their channel points. If I can. I'm going to add more so that everyone can use their channel points. Thank you. Thank you once again, Audi Stu. I am 16 alert old guy. Oh, you cracked me up there. Yeah, don't worry. When I first learned how to play chess, I was 16. I was very late. Very, very late. There are only a few things that I wanted to look at in this particular tournament. I wanted to look at that last draw with Viper. Did I really have a win? Alright, yeah, this is one that I wanted to deal with. Like this one, for example. So knight c3. They expect me to play c takes d5, c takes d5, and then what? I'm not a big fan of the exchange Slav with a6. But I am going to have to look at it. 26-year new guy. Namaste. There's a longer Just Do It that I'm somewhat happy that I didn't do the longer Just Do It as much as No, I'm fairly certain that Stockfish wants me to play d4 after the exchange. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, there it is. It wants this position after the exchange. This is basically an exchange Slav. My knight already on f3. I mean, obviously, I'm a leg up because I have a3 in. I imagine that I should play it, especially with the knight on d7, right? The problem with b4 honest noob is that your queenside pawns get very weakened, and that they can be attacked, provoked, and you can get holes in your squares on the queen side. So in reality, the purpose of a3 is by far not to play b4. The purpose of a3 is like the Najdorf, in my opinion, and the reason why I play it on the first move is that it's a high-class waiting move. I will choose my setup after black chooses their first move, and basically because we've studied black far greater than we've studied white, we have an opportunity to take black's equalizing advantage and take it further. I've been playing this since 1985, roughly. Actually earlier, probably. I've probably been playing a3 on the first move since 1983. If I had to guess. I'm trying to picture what year it was. I played a3 for the first time in a regular weekend event. You want to lose. Well, we usually have rewards set up for that on YouTube, and yeah, thank you, Ron. Probably that is the best way to do it. My theory here is that I get to choose whatever system I want with the white pieces based on what black is doing, and it adds yet another layer of complication. And I've beaten quite a few good players. One young international master, about 2450. Ironically, the alliteration here is clear, but I beat him in 24 moves once when he was attempting to play a system. I mean, he knew that he was white, yet he could not manage to get his feet on the ground, and his pieces were on the wrong squares. No, the hero request is for one move. Now, do we have the? Hold on, let me just check my channel point requests here. The best of 12 match is the usual one. Do I have it turned off? Oh, right now I have best of 24 only enabled. Best of 24 games. But you're right, I wanted to enable some younger ones. The problem was with my schedule, I was unable to Oh, check back for it soon. It's temporarily disabled. Interesting. All right, wait a minute, 1 second. So what you're seeing and what I'm seeing are totally different. I did disable a few because of my schedule and what is going on with my family. Adi Snoop, we're going to play. Haven't we already played? Let's analyze our previous game, sir. Hold on. Dressless chess? No. See, I've already lost one game to you. You've already beaten me. Or I beat myself. Rogan is a good moderator. But because I have students in the chat, it's a tricky thing. So what happened here? Oh yes, so d4. You played knight c3. We're looking at this from your perspective. We will relive one of your games though. I don't have any reward requests for analyzing viewer games because that's what we're here to be. Okay, Honest Noob? Basically, all of our time is valuable. I did want to do some work. So you lost a piece here. And how did I lose? Oh, I ran out of time. That often happens. You played a pretty good game. There's nothing wrong with this. You shouldn't be exchanging pieces when you're down in material, but you did try to go after me, which was pretty good. Yes. And I ran out of time here. So what did I start with? Let me just see if it was one of my games. So I started the game a minute late. That is common in the stream. I often spot most of my viewers a lot of time. But I will re-enable it just for you, Honest Noob. The Honest Noob match request. So we're down a pizza. What happened here? Oh, this particular position. B5. Knight to C5 had to be played. So, Honest Noob, the most important thing that absolutely every strong player has the ability to do is to see many good moves at the same time, whether or not they recognize it or not. It doesn't mean that they look at many good moves in depth and entirely at the same time, but they have a candidate move process where they instantly look at all the possibilities. For example, even in this position, they may look at G takes F3 and Queen. They know that the only two options are G takes F3 and Bishop takes F3, and the decision is automatic, right? To recapture with our bishop. But let's take a look at this one back here. I often get into trouble with bishop to G4, and I know that it's not the best move. In many other positions, here it seems to be. And in this particular position, we've got knight F6, queen C7, queen A5, E6. I could even try to play for E5 if I wanted to, but I'd have to prepare it. So F6 is an option. If you had a bishop on F4, I might consider F6. But in general, every time your opponent moves, do not move. Take your hand off the mouse. That's one of the reasons why I'm using my touch screen again. Because I have to use my touch screen, I literally have to reach for it. Now, the thing that I stopped using my touch screen for was because I lean into the camera and it doesn't look so good. So I have to figure something out. Basically, I'm going to have to play at a distance. But when I'm up here playing on the camera, this is not so pretty, right? It's not a very good look. So for the most part, I'm going to have to keep my distance from the board. I'm going to have to think about every move and do my best. Ah, yes. It was one of those days. And I had one opponent who did not show up. Wonderful. Or did he? Oh no, he's yeah, my first round opponent did not show up. I wonder if my first round opponent is still in the dojo. Let's take a quick peek. Did I throw him out? I did not throw him out. He's still trying his best. This is how we learn from our mistakes. We're at 24 right now. I resolved to myself to improve my grit. Basically, I think we're winning material with bishop takes b3. And they could have taken on d8 with check, but we'd only be a knight up instead of a rook up. But basically, working on these exercises to the best of my ability. So what's happening here? My queen is being attacked by a knight. The knight on e5 is weak. It looks like we have an in-between move to save the knight on e5 before recapturing. So we look at all the possibilities. Basically, knight attacks queen, knight attacks queen. I looked at bishop takes. I looked at queen to g3 to try to trap the knight. And ultimately, I settled on knight takes g6, knight takes e7 check, and then recapturing. And we're up a piece.
Check.
Yeah. But you have to not go with the move that you want to play. The George Costanza rule. Does everybody here know who George Costanza is? George Costanza, a relatively living icon of wisdom. So here we don't have any choice in the matter, right? We move our king, or we capture the rook. Those are the only two choices we have. Now, is the knight trapped? Can we trap the knight? Can we capture material? So originally when I looked at this position, I considered knight takes e6, knight takes b5, but we just have to analyze whether or not this knight can make it back to stop that pawn. And in order to do that, can the knight reach either c7 or b6 in X number of moves? So ab5, knight e3, a6, knight d5, a7. He does reach c7. Right? He does seem to reach a7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he reaches c7 in 1, 2, 3. Now we have knight takes b5, right? Now it really works, but we're going to go back and we're going to look at it. B takes a5, knight to e3, a6. The knight definitely has to go back, doesn't it? You can't stop it. So therefore, the original plan was knight to d5, and we can stop him from reaching these squares, or we could overwork him if we'd like. We can also play a7, and after knight to d7 we can actually capture or capture. However we choose, and we can pick off even more material. The knight will have to go to a8, and then we go after this pawn on e5, and we win it this way. So now let's look earlier. Earlier it doesn't seem like knight takes b5 is any better. So if they don't take, right? If they play knight to b5, they're suggesting that we just play this way. Knight must move to b6, and I imagine that we can gain time on it this way. Winning. Yeah, so the original position, in the original position we had to exchange rooks, and the only thing we just had to work out was that this knight could not stop the pawn, and you cannot so easily stop the pawn because we pick up further material. The computer just gave up for some reason. I don't even know why it can evaluate us having a queen for free. I guess with the knight off the board it's better. So now This looks like a free knight. But is it a free knight right away, or is it a free knight after we take on e1? Because we have the pin on the open e file. Every day, I'm going to try to schedule in a certain amount of solving time, calculating time. So if we take on e1, rook takes e1, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, queen takes queen, rook to e8 check, we move our queen. And white has a rook, black has a rook and a queen. I think you're absolutely correct. We capture first, and then we have an in-between move if the knight tries to move with for any reason. So if we did it the other way, Nico, the problem is they have a check. Knight takes d4, then rook takes e8, in-between move check. And we don't have an advantage. So the timing is everything. Yeah, because it's check. We have to pay attention to our weakened, vulnerable pieces. This is going to be a check. And because this is going to be a check, it creates a problem. Does rook check work? This is the other question. Can we play rook takes f5, rook takes f5? Next candidate move is rook takes h2 check, followed by queen to g3 check, queen to h3 check, and queen takes f1 mate. Rook takes h2 check, rook takes h2, queen takes e1. Yep. Alright, h2 is a dark square. I teach classes of 100 kids every year, so I know how it goes when you confuse the names of more than one student. But all these squares have a very different look. It's like having twins, right? The twins are c5 and f4, f5 and c4, h2 and a7. So I will probably more than likely always call that square a7 if I get the board backwards rather than h2. Believe it or not, I just won't call it that because it's more than 100 kids. More than 100 kids. I usually have 60 or so in the curriculum, and this semester we have even more. And then we have the middle school classes, the high school classes, the after school classes, the sunrise classes. Fortunately, a lot of them are repetitive customers. All right, moment of truth. First check, second check. It looks like the second check is going to win a rook. I don't see any reasonable way for him to guard his rook. And in this particular position, so if we move our king, we should certainly be getting mated. We capture the queen. How are they getting their material back? One check, blocking with the rook. So some of the instances when we're in check, right? Yeah, we have curriculum classes. We lost pre-K this year. We're not teaching pre-K except in the after school later in the year. So the interesting thing was that we taught in a compartmentalized way last year, and then during the post-COVID, we taught one grade at a time for 3 months more intensively than for the entire year, rather than teaching all the grades simultaneously across the year. So if anyone came down with COVID, it was locked within that one grade, as opposed to across the grades. And here we have a very simple removing the defender of the d5 square. Because this is unprotected, the king is unprotected, and we are preparing a fork.
Check.
Now, just like on chess.com, and I'm very serious here, just as on chess.com, all of these exercises are extremely simple. Here, we can see that the queen would like to come in. I've already looked at moves like knight f3 check, f4, but because our opponent can give check, in fact, our opponent can give some very fatal checks, everything we do has to be checked. So we only have one check in this position,
Check.
and that leads to the continuation queen to g5 mate. Absolutely, we can do Puzzle Racer. Let me wrap up what we are doing. I am a big believer in doing exercises and puzzles. This looks like it is let me get to a reasonable number. Let's set a reasonable number here. 39, like the 39 steps. I believe that we are,
Check.
now the big moment of truth. Queen to g4. This is always unclear. This is never as easy as it appears. This does not always lead to checkmate, honestly. Knight takes e5, rook takes e5, f5. Queen to h3. And now can he run? See how very unclear these exercises are? Even though this was a Trojan horse mate, this is not at all an easy attack to calculate. At all. I'm almost going to give this one a thumbs down. Mainly because it does not demonstrate the ability. And it looks as though we should be able to capture on this square because the knight is pinned. However, should we capture twice, the knight's capturing back. However, we also have the bishop attacking the pawn on g5.
Check.
Which means that we can discover on that piece. Once you identify the theme, when we get to the end of the next one, I want you to notice that the themes are real. So king up, pawn up is illegal, rook takes h7, and if we try to check, then the king moves in front of the pawns. This is the only logical move.
Check.
And our opponent has only one move to stop the pawn from queening. We don't want to push and lose our pawn with check. We don't want to retreat. So if the rook is coming across, then we can actually remove the defender of the rook. Either way. So where is the theme of this puzzle? I'm not a big fan of the theme missing. For example, if you do puzzles, the puzzle dashboard, let's say we do puzzles, right? I happen to stop on a very even number. We're going to do a very easy one just because we can. This one looks pretty logical, right? Capturing with check. Watch me be wrong right away. Yeah, the puzzle streak should show the theme. Absolutely should show the theme. when you do a theme here, for example, let's do one of mine. You can find your own puzzles on this as well from my games. We don't have to choose a very difficult one. I just want one that has a variety of themes, and the simpler they are, the better, for example. So, for example, rook takes e7.
Check. Check.
Mate and 2, endgame, rook endgame, short puzzle. I disagree. There must be another theme here. Back rank mate. Mate and 2 is locked, endgame is locked, short puzzle is locked. Add another theme, exposed king. Right? No defense to the king. You can add another theme. All of these themes you must know. And if you find yourself missing a theme, then you can go straight to it for cursingly chess. Meanwhile, yeah, I was telling the chess bay the other day, the primary way you can improve at chess is by identifying the themes that you are missing in your games. If you can identify the themes that you're missing, for example, this one looks like the queen should be trapped, except that we might get checkmated here. So what do we need to do to trap this queen? We need to guard our bishop. And we also need to guard this, or do we need to guard it? Because we can also counterattack something of greater value. That looks like the best form of defense. Bishop's worth 3. The rook is worth 5. So we can actually threaten the rook. Rook takes, queen takes check. Queen to g1 possibly. King to g3. Or do we want to play bishop to h2 check, king to g3? Bishop to g1 check. King cannot move back because we have bishop f2 and queen to g1 mate. So basically, rook to g1, rook to b1. Look at that, I said I wasn't going to do it. Rook to b1, queen takes b1, king h2, bishop to g1, king to g3, rook queen to e1 check. This looks like one I'm going to get wrong. King to f3. Let's see how far we get with that one, because this all looks forced. Up. And of course, we need to analyze it for ourselves. Rook to c8 isn't mate. Oh, no, it's not mate, but it's counterplay. They have this in-between move, Adesnu. They have this in-between move with check, which creates a little bit of a problem. So if we were to play the move... Oh, I have to keep going? We're going to analyze this at the end, okay? Many of the reasons, like this is even worse on chess.com. Like chess.com, you'll have the world's hardest puzzle, and then it's a 1700 puzzle because the opponent blunders on the second move, not the first move. At first, they give you an opportunity, and then they blunder immediately on the second puzzle. So all you have to do is find the first move. So yeah, there's a little bit of a trick here in this particular position because of bishop b6 check. And it's true that it's not mate, but it certainly does not look pretty. yeah, I do have to watch out for that. So we can't get both queen takes c5 and rook takes f7, rook f8 check, rook takes f8, bishop e6 check in at the same time. Just can't get them all in. I mean, I immediately registered it as a threat. Whether or not it worked or not, I would work out the details in a real tournament game if I had to. One of my favorite Hungarian streamers is streaming, so let's get to 39 so that we can do our puzzle racer. It looks like this is a simple overworked queen problem. This queen cannot defend and recapture at the same time. So when we're capturing this piece, we have two pieces for a rook. And we're threatening Now let's see what we had wrong. He's taking the piece with check. Puzzle racer it is. You also have free, if you do not have a chess.com membership, you may be able to do survival. I wonder what it says for Survivor. It should be the same command. I need to do a call out to the other command. I promised some Puzzle Racer for Honest Noob. Let's do it. Puzzle Racer it up. I don't mind Puzzle Racer because it makes solving puzzles fun. We're going to play the black pieces in all puzzles. I need to move this up so that we can see the other racers. We're playing the black pieces in all puzzles, very important. I like it when they don't flop them back and forth, which they do on chess.com. I'm not going to ignore him. The guy is standing there dressless. The guy is standing there dressless. You can't ignore a guy who's standing there dressless. It means something different in the United States to not have a dress on. But I know what you mean, Honest Noob. So we're going to do this every morning. We're going to make it a regular part of our program to do a small amount of, and maybe we'll do Puzzle Racer every morning if we can. We're going to finish up with Puzzle Racer. We'll make it a part of our program. And we'll also have to do Puzzle Street because I really do want everyone using the same browser to know that you can continue your Puzzle Street across days. To make sure that you're analyzing and calculating every day deeply and not getting something wrong. We're not going to start the race until we get one more. We got Nico, Honest Noob, and then I have to run my wife to the airport. As all of you may already know, as I explained this weekend, my sister-in-law is not doing well. Uh-oh. Did I lose sight of the chat? I did briefly lose sight of the rat. I think that we have to use the word afraid lightly. I wish you had an interim one, right? What you need is an interim one. Let's put this in here in case anyone has joined recently. We're going to start the race in a few minutes. The thing that I don't like is that the URL changes. It gets very tricky to try to restart the race. So we're definitely going to do one. I'm afraid that this might not be politically correct. Why can't Michael Jackson go to school? Well, he's got a small physical disability at the moment. I think it's why couldn't Michael Jackson go? Because he's dead. Got it. But I'm glad it wasn't a different one. I've heard many politically incorrect jokes concerning. We're going to wait for 4. We have one chance and one chance only, just like... we're not going to do it over and over again because Puzzle Racer and Puzzle Rush 3-minute or 5-minute are very addictive. And they encourage you to move quickly, and I disagree with moving quickly. Inherently and absolutely, I disagree with moving quickly. L9, don't cry. Level 9, don't cry. Join our puzzle racer, L9, don't cry. Let's see here. We're going to get one more in. I don't sack my pieces. I hang my share of pieces. I had a double Botez Gambit deferred the other day. I think it was Friday. I hung my queen. My opponent hung his queen. I hung my queen. And then I accepted his queen. Where are you from, L9? L9. That is my experience, I believe, right? I'll put up my about and the wiki. One more, let's do it. One more joining the puzzle race. Let's make this competitive. Also, identifying the themes that you miss is huge. There we go. Now we're in business. All right. We're going to start in 10 seconds. So if anybody else wants to join in, I will adjust the screen accordingly so that we can see everyone. All right, and we're starting. Treaty, good morning. Arya, SV, SP. And we're off. Be ready, everyone. We're playing the black pieces and all diagrams. What in the world? I'm playing the black pieces? Oh, silly me. Oops. I am not doing very, very well. At all. How am I supposed to win this? That way, huh? And am I in check? Oh, I'm done. Not bad, everyone. Not bad. I do need to run my wife to the airport. 30, not bad. That was a very tight race. All of you are so good. I hope you guys keep rematching each other. Does everybody have a rematch button, or is it only me? But at the same time, no, I promised my wife that I would run her to the airport. And I have less than 10 minutes to get in the car. That's all right. One of the sweetest streamers ever. Yes, she is calling. Eva, I'm wrapping up. I'm on my way down. I'm on my way down now. All right, bye. I told you. So meanwhile, please enjoy. And I want to thank the new follows. Basically. Kingslayer Sloan, let's get a shout out. Kingslayer Sloan may be streaming again. L9 Don't Cry, Locker Guy, thank you for the follow. Snowy Orca. Do a shout out for Snowy Orca. Please give them a follow. Kingslayer Sloan and Snowy Orca. Both of them, as I do, rely on your support. Cheers, everyone, and thank you. Thank you,